Laughter bubbles around me. Cackles ring out from all sides. A wheezing snigger sounds in one ear as moist breath dampens my cheek.
"It lives,"
says a rasping voice, scraped raw by time. "A pity," chimes in another voice, softer and distinctly feminine. "Kill it." "Don't be a fool." Yet a third voice says, grandmotherly in her chastisement, "Nothing tastes so sweet as living flesh peeled from the bones." The laughter resumes, and a sharp-nailed finger pokes at my ribs.
"Not much meat on this one,"
says the rasping voice, the words distorted as through toothless gums.
"We may need to take our pleasure of it some other way."
The mad cackles redouble, their echoes a tangible pressure bearing down on me. I force my eyes open. It takes a few heartbeats for them to focus. When they do, it is to see a rough stone ceiling gouged from living rock. Grotesque shadows slither and dance above me. A phlegmy sigh tickles my ear as a warm breath again bedews my cheek. Slowly, I turn my head to the side. A witch's mask, some horrid thing carved from heartwood, glares at me. Exaggerated features of hooked nose and time-creased lips, of sunken cheeks and protruding eyes make it a thing of children's nightmares. Then the mask blinks, one eye of palest blue, the other milky white. The parched lips spread into a hideous grin, exposing black-stained gums devoid of teeth, save one yellowed stub in the top.
"Welcome, hooded one,"
it says, then sits back to unburden my sight. The woman, or what once was a woman, wears a gown of rarest silk, though tattered and worn so that glimpses of desiccated flesh peek through. A tarnished torque that might be silver hangs about her waddled throat. Only her hair, of purest white, shows any sign of care, neatly bound atop her skull and secured with an ivory comb.
"Can it not speak?"
the crone asks, her mismatched eyes narrowing. I begin to speak, but my parched throat closes on the words. I swallow what seems like dust, then manage to croak, "I thank you for your hospitality." And like that, it is done. With the words of welcome and my acceptance, the ancient bond between host and guest forms between us. The crone smiles her horrid smile.
"Rise,"
she says.
"Eat."
She beckons to her companions, who dutifully move to my sides. One is a comely maid, fair of complexion and with her red hair hung loose. Mischief plays in her sky-blue eyes. Were I a younger man, or simply not so rain-battered, I might ask her for a walk in the heath. The other woman is handsome, matronly. Life has given her a certain hardiness that shows through her strong features. Silver streaks in her auburn hair tell of fires once grown hot and now turning to ash. The pair help me sit up, and only then do I notice my nakedness. On reflex, I suck in my belly, gone soft of late. There's nothing I can do about the rest.
"Be at ease, son of Bor,"
says the eldest.
"There's naught of man nor mankind we've not before witnessed."
My daughter speaks true, says the matron, and I think either she's misspoken or I've misheard. Would it were not so. But here, take, drink. She offers me a wooden bowl. My mouth floods at the scent of venison and onions and leeks. I take the broth and sip gently at first, then in one quaff gulp down the rest. "Now," says the youngest. She takes the bowl from my hands, her fingers warm on mine. "You have received our shelter and hospitality. What gift do you bring in exchange?" I blink, dumbfounded. My custom is to be the host, to offer bread and meat and mead, then to receive whatever token my guest might offer in return. I cannot remember a time when I was in position to offer the thanks gift, let alone when I had none to give. I beg pardon of my ladies, but I have nothing to offer in return. I gesture along my naked body, not even the clothes off my back. The three stare at me blankly, without rancor or pity or any emotion at all. After a couple dozen heartbeats, they at last look at one another, seemed to reach some unspoken accord, then turned back to me. "If it has nothing to offer," the matron says, "it has no use. Let it join Mimir. Let it be fodder for the hogs." No sooner had she spoken than the maiden and the crone, moving with surprising strength, pinned my shoulders to the stone table. I tried to resist, but it feels as though lead seeps from my belly into my limbs. The women tuck my feebly kicking feet into a coarse black sack. They pull this over my legs, my hips, my chest. The maiden gives me a mischievous smile. She leans toward me and kisses me, slow and deep. When she pulls away, I feel what seems to be a coin on my tongue. Before I can question her, the matron offers her lips and deposits 2 more coins. Cold tendrils coil about my spine as the crone stoops toward me. I shudder as she covers my mouth with lips both parched and wet. She flicks the coins off my tongue with hers, and before I can utter my disgust, floods my mouth with more bits of metal. The crone stands back and clamps a gnarled hand over my mouth. I can only grunt in protest as I feel my lips bind together.
"Let you not go giftless to your next host,"
she says. She wipes her mouth, then with a placid smile, pulls the sack over my head and cinches me into darkness.